All right, what is up, y'all? What's up, traders? What's up, tycoons? Today, we're going to take a look at Casper, okay, CSPR. We're going to do an update on this one because this one has came back to our first bullish price target, came up to our second bullish price target, and we're going to go over where Casper can potentially go in the future and really just give you guys a nice technical analysis update. Now, this is where we did our last video, okay? And we talked about how some people would call this a bear flag, right? You have the flagpole here, then you see price action squeezing, consolidating. But I did mention that, hey, this is a nice rounded bottom here, okay? And just like this was a nice rounded top and end up leading to a downside move. Okay, it was really nice that we held our level here of 0.03098, put in this nice rounded bottom, and we're looking for a breakout to the upside. And we definitely got that, right? And you can see we exploded up to the area of liquidity up here, right? Pulled back down. And, if we were to just adjust some of these boxes, okay, and, just drag some of these out, these are the major zones, okay, of supply and demand, major areas of liquidity, all right? And what we're going to do now is give you guys a nice little update. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll come in here to the most recent swing low, right? And we're going to connect it up here to our most recent highs. All right, we're going to adjust this. We'll just leave it the way it is right here. So what these are these are the Fibonacci retracement levels. Okay, we're going to go over, break down why we're using those. We're going to slap on some Bollinger Bands, go over Bollinger Bands, and give you guys basically a very nice video going over all of these different things. However, as always, the content provided on this channel is for informational and educational purposes only and is not intended to be relied upon as legal, financial, or investment advice. So be sure to read through the disclaimer, and we'll go ahead and get back right into the video. We'll come back over here to TradingView. Right, and we'll take a look here. And so the first thing that I want to go over is these fib levels, okay? Now, these three in particular, the 38.2, 50%, and 61.8, as you see the way I drew that, I just connected to our most recent low from this parabolic move to the up, not really parabolic, but this impulsive move to the upside, connected it to the highs, and it gave us the 38.2, the 50, 61.8, and there's also this level here, the 764, but these three right here, these are the three most common and well-respected Fibonacci retracement levels. So if we want to see Casper continue this uptrend, and it pulls back, well, these are the three levels where it makes, the most sense, right? And these are the most commonly well-respected Fibonacci levels to potentially continue the uptrend. Now, what's really nice about that is that it also coincides with our former area of supply, right? So we had former supply over here, pushed us down lower. Okay, we had supply up here, pushed us down lower. We came back down and tagged this area, boom, and then we rallied up higher. So, when you're thinking about your zones, right, a break retest seems very healthy, right? So if you look, the 618 is right at the bottom of our zone. We'll just call it 0.045. Okay, making a nice round number. So if we were to pull back, anything above 0.045 is still, healthy territory. Okay, I mean, when we talk about some simple concepts, right, we have a low here, and we have a higher low here. And if we were to pull back in this zone, again, that's a higher low. Now we can drop a little bit below there to 0.04198. We'll just round that up to 0.042, right? And that's still healthy retracement territory, but we've done a good job of recently making a new trend, right? Here, the trend is very clear. Highs, lower highs, lower highs, and lower highs, right? And then you have lows, lower lows, lower lows, lower lows, and lower lows. Well, now, as I just explained, we're making an uptrend finally, right? So we have higher highs, higher highs, higher highs, lows, higher lows. A higher low pullback is very justified, right? So if we were to pull back, you look for us to hold support around that 0.045 level and then continue an uptrend and make a higher high. Now, for the higher high, there's some levels that we're going to be targeting, okay? Now, these have been the bullish price targets on Casper for a while. You can see back in, summer of 2023, we came up and hit these levels. And so those levels are going to be 0.057, all right? It's going to be our, next target to the upside. Then we have 0.0627, and then above there, we have 0.070 and 0.076. All right, those are going to be some of the targets to the upside. Now, what you want to be cautious of, and what we warned people about in the past before, are divergences, right? And specifically in this case, we want to be cautious of any bearish divergences. Now, what is that? Well, if you take a look, we have a high right here, then a higher high. But on your RSI, remember, this is your relative strength index. Okay, so it measures the relative strength of a token, coin, stock, whatever it is that you're looking at its given price levels. And so here we made higher highs, went higher in price, but we made a high and a lower high in strength, in the relative strength. So this is a bearish divergence. It's an indicator that you could see a pullback, right? And that really started and was a big signal to, the really big sell-off that we had there. Now, you can combine that with something like a MACD. So we had bearish divergence, and then we had a bearish MACD crossover, and that was a good signal that, hey, Casper could be due for a pullback. And sure enough, it pulled back and just kept pulling back, right? So if we take a look at where we're at right now, and we were to just simply look at this, right, we have, highs over here, all right? We have highs over here. Okay, so we are making higher highs at the moment, as we established earlier. We are in that nice uptrend. But if you look at our RSI, we're in a downtrend right here, okay, where we're making a high, okay, and then a lower high. So you do want to be a little bit cautious, right? Now, some of this is already playing out, right? I mean, we're seeing it pull back before, right in front of our eyes. So as I mentioned, these are really just going to be the healthy retracement territories, right? If we can hold above 0.045, then hey, we got a healthy pullback. The RSI is no longer an overbought territory. And we would look to, if this is a trend line, we would look to break this trend line for us to come up and hit our next bullish price targets to the upside. Be cautious of the MACD. If you see this roll over, right, in the white line cross below the red line here after a bearish divergence, again, it could be an indicator that you're about to have a sell-off similar to what we had in the past. All right. So that's everything I'm looking at when it comes to Casper. Actually, we'll break down the Bollinger Bands real quick too. So, if you're not familiar with the Bollinger Bands, just think of it as a rubber band for price action. So, if we were to zoom in at some different periods, right, and we'll just start with some of the most recent periods, you can see that anytime we're trading outside of the bands, what happens? Well, price snaps back into it, right? That's kind of why it's like a rubber band. It snaps back inside of the rubber band. You can see here, again, we came outside of the Bollinger Bands, and price is trying to snap back inside of those inside of those Bollinger Bands. Now, what's really interesting is take a look where the middle Bollinger Band is. It's right below that 0.045 level. So, as time progresses, this is going to continue to rise, and it's going to come up very close to that 0.045, right? And, so now we basically have three levels, three different forms of finding support at 0.045, right? We have supply and demand given with our zone here. Then we have the Fibonacci's giving us support there. And then we'll also have the middle Bollinger Band, which often can act as areas of support and resistance as well, right? Over here, the middle Bollinger Band was support, also with the bottom of the demand zone. And look what happened. We had a very strong push. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do get a pullback. 0.045 is that key area to maintain above. Anything above there is still higher low territory for us to continue the uptrend, right? But if we break below 0.045, 0.0412, or just 0.042 is basically going to be that last line in the sand. If we break through there, right, then we're going to come back down and test this prior zone here, and at which point we'll have to see if there's any indicators that we're going to get a bounce or that we're going to, end up breaking through. All right, so that's it for today's update on Casper. Let me know what you guys' favorite crypto coins have been to trade in 2023 and which ones you are most excited about heading into 2024. It's finally been very fun to trade crypto again. It's been a really good time in 2023 trading crypto again, especially if you're trading things like leverage. I mean, you can make some really big money. Of course, you can lose some money really quickly, but it's been a very fun and exciting time for me. And I'm looking forward to the rest of 2024 as we head into the new year.